Well, we're here with Jack van der Sanden. You know, through all these discussions, one of the things that came up, and I think you invented a new word here, the SHACP. You want to tell me a little bit about, you know, how did this idea spark and what does a SHACP plan really mean?
Yeah, so I'm, as I said, a food safety man, and I have been HACCP thinking all my life. So HACCP has some very good philosophies that, and HACCP can be applied if you have a process. You can apply a HACCP because you can ask at every process step what can go wrong, and you can basically start looking and saying, oh yeah. Have we thought about this? Have we thought about that? So by asking that question, you can tighten your controls around a process. And now, if you look at taking a sample all the way to the result notification, so that is the process. And if you take the steps in that process, you have about 10, maybe up to 15 steps of taking the sample, handling the sample, storing the sample, shipping the sample, and then all the steps at the laboratory end. And so that process, I call that the diagnostics process. And that process, we can apply a SHACP. We can apply our HACCP thinking. So at every step, we can ask that question. At the sample taking step, we can ask, what can go wrong? At the sample handling step, or when I put it in the fridge in the control room, I can ask the question, what can go wrong? And often by doing that, you will find that you can improve controls from take it throughout the process.
Yeah, that's a good summary. You know, really thinking about the diagnostic process or the SHACP, you know, what is the big value there for you know, dairy plants or food and beverage plants? What, you know, why is it worth taking that extra time or extra thought?
I think I read an interesting article, and this is about taking blood samples. And so I have to go to the doctor, and then the doctor takes my blood sample, and I don't like those needles, but in the end, I'm very pleased that the nurse or the person taking my blood sample is trained. They've got a name for it. It's a phlebotomist or something like that. So one day, after your challenge about sampling and testing, I did happen to have a blood sample taken, and I came across this article, and it stated that the majority of mistakes are made in the pre-analytical phase of the diagnostics process. So basically, the majority of incidents in a blood sampling and testing diagnostics process happen before the sample is reaching the laboratory, before it is tested. And I think this would not be that different for the food industry. If I look at my own experience taking cream samples, for example, for me, it is an underrated part of the industry. Globally, it is not managed by one person. There's different parties doing their bit. And so it's really important that you look at the whole process and identify those important gaps that are there.
Yeah, that's good. That's really interesting comparison when you look at, you know, medical and then food processing, but there's, you know, a lot of risks associated on both sides and a lot of confidence that you need to have on both sides as well. So
yep.
Yeah, you know, it's great to be able to connect over video. I know everyone's been calling from their living rooms or kitchen tables. It's, you know, it's a new normal that we're in, but we've enjoyed, you know, collaborating and talking about sampling, and appreciate your time. Anything else you want to share before we sign off?
Yeah, sampling and testing and is really important, and a lot of decisions are made based on the outcome of that process. So it's good to look after it.
Yeah, well said. Well, thanks again, and we're excited to get these articles out. I think there's a lot of really great information in there. So,
yep, okay. Hope you enjoyed them. And look, thanks for having me involved. And yeah, talk again soon.
Talk again soon. Thanks again.